Can we stand for reverence and respect to the word of God? I was on the internet the other day. Saw our church on YouTube. Pastor Claiborne was preaching. I said, man, I sure if I get up there next week. Head to the media, man. Romans chapter 5, 1 verse 8 says, but God commended his love toward us.
That's love. That's love.
In that, right now, while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. Do me a favor and look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, he did it for me.
He did it for me.
I'm not talking about today. He did it for me. For me. God commended his love toward us, and that while we were yet sinners, Christ died for us. The book of Romans is Paul's greatest work and was rightfully placed among his 13 epistles in the New Testament. While the four Gospels present the words and works of Jesus Christ, Romans digs deep and explores the significance of his sacrificial death. Using a question and answer format, Paul records the most systematic presentation of doctrine in the entire Bible. You see, this unique literary composition is more than just a book of theology. It's a book of practical exhortation. For the good news about Jesus Christ is more than facts to be believed. It is a life to be lived.
All right.
I might need to say that again. The good news about Jesus Christ is more than facts to be believed. It is a life to be lived. It is a life fitting of a person who in chapter 3, verse 24 of this same book of Romans has been justified by God's grace through the redemption that is only found in Jesus Christ. Yes, St. Paul, these days people try to minimize Christ's effect on humanity. But I must point out this morning that what he did for us was and will always be a major event. One that should never be taken lightly. Yes, can I suggest to you that it was the biggest acquisition that was ever accomplished when he bought us back for a price that could never be calculated. Can I point out that there was a transaction that was conducted for a sum that can never be quantified by any major banking institution or any major stock exchange. Yes, see, when history is told of how the world's civilization was framed, we see everything but the fact that civilized people messed up so bad that no human born through the first man, Adam, could save us. Yes, it has no mention that God sent his best. It has no mention that God sent his sure shot. It has no mention that God sent his one-hit quitter to close the deal. You see, men have been trying, I'm going to preach this thing this morning, I'm telling you, men have been trying for years. They've been trying for generation after generation to reconcile mankind back to God. And they could never deliver the victory. So God called up the closer from the bullpen. God called up the closer in the person of Jesus Christ to finish the job. You see, the game was played in Rome on Calvary's field. You see, the soldiers were up to bat. Judas, Pilate, the Sadducees, and the Pharisees had done their part. And Christ was now on the mound from the 6th to the 9th inning. And I tell you, on a hill far away, hanging from an old rugged cross, my main man Jesus, he got the job done. Can I tell you this morning what he did? Can we make it personal this morning in this message? Touch yourself and say, he made a way for me. He made a way for me. When we clearly couldn't do it for ourselves, somebody say, he made a way for me. When he did something that we could not do on our own, you ought to say, he made a way for me. As God clearly proved his love for us, somebody ought to shout in the house, he made a way for me. When we were destined for hell, he saved me. Somebody ought to say, he made a way for me. Do I have anybody in the house not ashamed to say, when I look back over my life, it was nobody but God that made a way. He made a way. High five your neighbor and say, he made a way. He made a way for me. Yes, today is not just an ordinary Sunday. This is a day set aside to commemorate, to focus on, to remind ourselves of Christ's triumphant victory at Calvary. Yesterday is a day we take our minds back to the point where we move from being lost to found. We move from being blind to seeing. We move from being guilty to innocent. We move from being sinful to forgiven. We move from being not worthy to having full benefits in Jesus Christ. Yesterday is a day that we remember that Jesus truly made a way. Truly made a way for me. Yesterday is more than crackers and juice. Yesterday is more than white dresses and black suits. Today is more than white gloves and chapel cap. It's all about the fact that Jesus made a way. Can anybody in the house testify that he made a way for me? Because of him. Because of him, you go back to verse 1, because of him, we were declared righteous and were given a right standing with God. Tell your neighbor, he got me right. Because of him, through faith, we have peace with God. Tell your neighbor, he gave me peace. Because of him, we have an entrance by faith into a state of God's favor, one that's rooted and grounded in him. Tell your neighbor, I got favor. I got favor. I got favor. And because of him, you can praise him because he made a way. He made a way. Yes, he made a way. Because of him, we have the ability to experience and enjoy the glory of God. Yes, we have joy because he lets us have triumph in our troubles. He lets us have the ability to rejoice in all of our sufferings. Yes, we can rejoice because he gave us a process to victory. Somebody say a process to victory. He gave us a process to victory. You see, let me make it plain. See, tribulation works towards patience. And patience works towards experience. And experience works toward hope. And if you have hope, you are never ashamed because the love of God will always give you the victory. Let me translate that. Let me make it plain and clear. You see, pressure, affliction, and hardship will produce a patient and unswerving endurance, which develops maturity, which produces a habit of joyful and confident hope. A hope that will never disappoint us because God's love has been poured into our hearts. And through the Holy Spirit that gives us the victory. If you know that God gives you the victory, you ought to be on site excited. You ought to be on cloud 10. You ought to be full of joy because you know that He made a way. As I move to an exit, because the saints come on, and I know y'all ready. I tell you that we should never forget that there was a time that we were powerless to help ourselves. Yes, we should never forget that there was a time when we were weak, too weak to pick ourselves up. Yes, we should never forget that there was a time when we had a one-way ticket to hell. Yes, we should never forget that there was a time that we were without strength. Yes, at the right time, He made a way for us. That's why in verse 8, my Bible tells me, in due time. It says Christ died for the ungodly. And the last time I checked, it said all have sinned and come short of the glory of God. So that lets me know at due time He saved me. Just at the right time He delivered me. Just at the right time He set me free. And to sum it all up, just in the nick of time He made a way. You see, we weren't righteous, we weren't upright or noble, but He died for us anyway. We weren't innocent, framed, or accused falsely, but He died for us anyway. We weren't deserving, didn't receive a pardon, and we weren't political prisoners, but He died for us anyway. Yeah, we were sinners. Yeah, we were no good. We were disobedient and dishonest. But He died for us anyway. My Bible says we were guilty. We deserved the death penalty. But He died for us anyway. The songwriter put it like this. He says, I was sinking deep in sin, far from the peaceful shore. Then the Master very deeply stained within, sinking to rise no more. But the Master of the sea, He heard my despairing cry. From the water He lifted me, and now see am I. It says when nothing else would help, tell me that love lifted me. Testify in the house that it was love that lifted you. I tell you, God committed His love towards us, and that while we were yet sinners, it says Christ died for us. As I leave, we should never forget how He loved When you was broke, you put money in your pocket. When you was hungry, you put food on the table. When you was confused, he gave you peace of mind. When you was lost, he found you. Blind, he gave you sight. Anybody can shout Jesus. When they put that piercing inside, should be me. But he was the ram in the bush. He was the substitute for our sin. He was our safety net in all of our troubles. Oh man, I'm still excited about the fact that of the situation. Noah was the so-called city of that time. Put them all on the ark. After they came out on dry ground, he took it to the head and got drunk. Samson was a mighty man, but he kept on falling to women. David was a man that was after God's own heart. He wrote a lot of scriptures about God being his shepherd, God being his light, God being his strength, God being his salvation, but he still failed. Nobody could take Jesus' place. Jesus was a perfect man. He was an upright man. He was a man without sin. He was a man without spot. He was a man without blemish. He said, Father, prepare me a wife. I don't know about you, but I'm so glad he came. Because he came, I have hope for tomorrow. For he came, I have joy in the midst of sorrow. Because he came, I have help when I'm helpless. I have hope when I'm hopeless. I have joy when there's no joy. Because he came. Those are the church.